Good evening, District 18 Toastmasters. My name is Benjamin Crist, your Toastmasters District 18 Director, and I want to welcome you to our District 18 Mastery Monday presentation. Dr. Mansur Hasib is an award-winning business and marketing leader, author, and educator. Dr. Hasib believes everyone has greatness and a unique gift to share with the world. People must find their gifts, refine them, and confidently bring them out. In this presentation titled Personal Brand Powered Marketing, Dr. Hasib will share some stories and insights from his most recent book titled Bring Inner Greatness Out, Personal Brand, which allows anyone in any field to become successful.
Thank you very much. Why should we hire you? Tell me about yourself. Toastmasters and guests, these are two most dreaded questions that we all face at various stages of our life. And most often, we're not prepared to say exactly what we need to say at that particular moment. But to answer these questions properly, let's try to understand first why people buy anything. To buy anything, we must feel value is higher than price. The higher the value, the more likely we will buy. But value is a feeling, an emotion. And this feeling of value can go up or down during a conversation. Allow me to share this story from my life to illustrate this concept. I had just finished high school. A 9-month-long war had destroyed our school calendar. And although I had graduated from high school, I could not join the university because the cohort ahead of us occupied those seats. I needed a job. My English professor took me on his motorbike and introduced me to the principal of an international school in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Sister, this is my best student in English. Please consider him for a teacher position at your school. I was 17 years old with long curly hair and Elvis Presley sideburns. It was a cool look of the 1970s. But that look reduced my value in the eyes of the principal. She took one look at me, nodded her head, and said, "Sorry, I cannot hire such a young boy to teach." Boy, that word stung me deeply and left me speechless. I felt the urge to storm away from the room. But before I could move, my professor pleaded, "But sister, he has many other talents." Really? What other talents does he have? Sister, he can sing and play the guitar. Suddenly, my value went up. She turned to me. "Can you teach young children to sing and play the guitar?" Sister, I have never done this, but I'm willing to try. Okay, you can start on Monday. I was speechless. What just happened? I was about to storm out. Instead, I just landed my first full-time job at the age of 17. My value had shot up dramatically and had overcome all my negatives. That particular job changed the trajectory of my life forever. I even met the most important person in my life at that school, my wife's younger sister. Through her, I met my wife. I guess I was more interested in older women. Next, let me share a more recent story from my career. April of 2016, I joined a university as chair of a 10-year-old program with 1,500 students. As soon as I joined, I adjusted my personal branding activities to promote the program at a cost of zero. That fall, we had the highest enrollment ever in the history of the program. Enrollment increased between 48 to 69% annually. Yet overall enrollment at the university was down 4.2%. And the marketing department had laid off several recruiters. Now, what did I do that was so different? First, I established a relationship with all students and faculty using digital tools. I established a relationship with career services so students would start their job search at the beginning of the program and not the end. I coached students on personal branding and public speaking and made it part of the core curriculum. Knowledge alone is not sufficient. We need to talk about ourselves confidently and must have a publicly prominent personal brand to break through the noise to land jobs. I taught them every job has two parts. One, required by the organization, and two, what you uniquely bring to the job. I told them, don't ever let the job define you. Define the job in your image. That will make you irreplaceable. Every time I spoke at a conference, I negotiated free display tables, booths, free passes for students. At times, I was able to take 50, 30, 25 students for free. As they networked at conferences, they promoted my program. We entered contests and won awards individually as well as for the program. The program won Best Cybersecurity Higher Education Program in the USA 2 years in a row in 2018 and 2019. Graduates won awards. Faculty won awards. I appeared on TV. I created a YouTube channel, and content from various people was posted on a daily basis. So people had a reason to come back. At times, a single conference had 4 or 5 of my representatives speaking at the event. What was the result? Incredible perceptions of value. By the middle of 2019, enrollment jumped to 4,800. Annual revenue jumped from 30 million to 117 million. Now, was it due to my personal branding activities? Well, in January of 2020, I joined another university, and 400 students followed me to the other university. Enrollment at the previous university plummeted immediately. And today, less than 2 years after my departure, enrollment is down to 1,000 students. Revenue dropped so quickly that they had multiple rounds of layoffs in the last 2 years. So what happened? You see, marketing is all about relationships. Ads do not create feelings of value or a relationship. Feelings of value are created among people. And that has to be done by building relationships with people. And through technology today, we can build relationships on a global scale. These relationships deepen over time. People trust us, and trust has incredible value. We will often pay more to someone we trust, even if someone else offers a lower price. Most often, we will not even look at competitors. But when we lower prices, we lose profits. It reduces quality, which reduces profits some more. We should never compete on price. That is a losing proposition. My model has always been to decide what I need to charge to provide the service in a memorable manner. Then I represent the value through packaging. And personal branding is nothing more than the packaging we put around ourselves. As we project high value, we also project high quality. Thus, whichever organization, program, initiative we associate our brand with increases in value. Now let's examine if personal brands can compete against corporate brands. This is something I learned in 2017. In 2017, I suddenly found myself competing in the People's Choice Award in Cybersecurity, hosted by the Maryland Cybersecurity Association. There were 23 contenders, 4 individuals, and 19 companies. Anyone from anywhere in the world could vote for one of the contenders. There were publicity companies, media companies, many large companies, household names, some with 1 million subscribers. They all had hefty marketing budgets and massive databases of email addresses to spam. My budget was 0. And my database of contacts was under 5,000 at that time. So it did not seem fair that little individual me would have to compete against these massive companies. But I could not convince the organizers to hold a separate contest for individuals. Nevertheless, I decided to reach out to my global contacts and campaigned sincerely. As the votes started coming in, the organizers showed us the updated tally in real time, and it was mind-blowing. I received more than 100 votes on the very first day of the contest. and immediately started leading the contest by a wide margin. None of us could understand this. All these big names, executives from these companies started contacting the organizers. What happened? How can a professor, an individual, be beating us? I myself started wondering, what is going on? This is interesting. But we all were having a blast because the organizers were surprised and I was seen as the underdog. So everybody was actually supporting me. On March 22nd, 2017, I was declared the winner. So I started wondering, what happened here? What happened is that even though my primary database of people was small, when my global supporters learned that I was a contender, they mobilized to support me in a way I had never seen before. They solicited their networks to vote for me. People I did not know voted simply because their friends or relatives had asked them to. It was fascinating and heartwarming for me to watch faculty members, students, former students, professional colleagues from all over the world campaign on my behalf through blogs, stories, articles, phone calls, emails, and social media. They even sent me messages wishing me the best. My students were particularly passionate about campaigning. Many got their children, family members, and friends to vote. My niece threatened to unfriend people if they did not vote for me. She got me 70 votes. So my network of 5,000 people had turned out to be huge with this multiplier effect. And this type of passionate mobilization is almost never seen on behalf of a company. People do not have a strong emotional attachment to company brands anymore. It is extremely hard for someone to get their family members, relatives, or friends to vote for a nameless, faceless company, even if they work for that company. So we can see how a personal brand powered marketing strategy can actually beat a well-heeled marketing campaign funded by lots of money by major companies. And this, I believe, is the future of marketing, both for organizations as well as individuals.